Alright, first and foremost, I want to give all honors and praises and glory belongs to my Lord and Savior, whose name is Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Waharakah Kodash, and double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone that teaches truth well, and to the hopeful elect across the globe, and to the very few brothers and sisters listening and also learning across the globe. Okay, this is going to be some spiritual food, and Lord willing, it will be edifying. It's Ecclesiasticus, and we're going to start at, bear me just a minute. You know what? Let's start at Proverbs. This is Proverbs 3 and 19. The Lord Yahweh Shai by wisdom have founded the earth. And when you found something, what? You establish it. So it is Yahweh Yahweh Shai that established this earth. Alright? By understanding have he established the heavens. So through that wisdom, that's how the heavens were established. Okay, and it all began with what? A thought. Okay, and that thought, what was it turned into? An action. And that's how these things were established. By his knowledge, the depths are broken up, and the clouds drop down the dew. Okay? And what's that? The water. You know? Which in the morning, why? When it's not raining, why are all the crops wet? That's from the dew of heaven. That's from the cloud. Okay? The water vapors. My son, let not them depart from thine eyes. What? The words of these scriptures. Count sound wisdom and discretion. So when it says, let not this depart from thy eyes, what? It's your mind. You got to keep these things in remembrance. And when it says, let not these things depart from your eyes, it's speaking about the laws, statutes, and commandments, which are able to make us what? Wise unto salvation. Keep sound wisdom and discretion. So shall thy be life unto thy soul, and grace unto thy neck. So walking in this wisdom is going to be a grace to us. Okay? It's going to be something to you. The people of this world, they're not walking in wisdom. They're not walking in the grace of Yahweh Shai. Alright? Verse 23, then shall I walk in thy way, and safely, and our foot shall not stumble. Why? Because you're instructed in the right way. You're instructed in the way of truth. So guess what? Your feet's not going to stumble. And what's an instruction for? To guide you. To show you how something is done. To show you how something is performed. And that's what instruction's for. And the Lord has given us the instruction manual. Alright? When thou liest down, thou shalt not be afraid. Yea, thou shalt lie down, and thy sleep shall be sweet. In other words, you're not going to be troubled. You're going to have a sound sleep, a sound rest. Why? Because you made Yahweh Shai your refuge. Okay? So you're going to have what? A sound sleep, a sound rest. Alright? Verse 25. Be not afraid of sudden fear, neither of the desolation of the wicked. The hopeful elect, they don't need to be afraid of that. It's the people of the world that need to be afraid of that sudden fear and all these things that are coming upon the earth. Neither of the desolation of the wicked when it cometh. And what's the desolation? The destruction of the wicked. And it's coming. It's coming. You ain't seen nothing yet. Okay? You worried about some Taliban that was set up by the US government. That's nothing. You gonna have what? World war on every side. Okay? You're gonna have the US against Iran. Okay? You have Pakistan. Okay? You're gonna have all these nations that war against each other. You worried about some Taliban. The US army run Taliban. Who funded them? and thy foot from being taken. So your foot's not going to be taken, what? In the snares that Esau set up. Okay? You're going to be sound. You're going to be looked after. Through what? That faith. That's what the faith is going to do. It's going to keep us protected in these times of danger. So I hope these words are comforting. Verse 27, withhold not good from them whom it is due, when it is in power of thy hand to do it. So we have this truth. We're not supposed to be withholding this truth. Okay, we're supposed to be declaring it openly. Okay, we're not supposed to be hiding it. We're supposed to be declaring these words of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Whether our people will hear, whether they will forbear. Say not unto thy neighbor, go and come again, and tomorrow I will give when thou hast it by thee. So if it's in your hand to do good, to teach this word, you teach it. If you got time, you teach this word. Why hold back? Huh? Let's go to Ecclesiasticus. Heathens don't know a damn thing. Ecclesiastes 34, and we're going to go straight to 11. When I traveled, I saw many things. So the more you get about, the more you're supposed to learn, because different cultures, different places, they have different cultures. There's different ways different things are done in different lands. So what? Through that you gain experience as well. Not just going outside of your local borough. There's more to it than that. Okay? Different lands, different places, where there's different rules, where they do things differently. Alright? So when I traveled, I saw many things. Many. I understood more than I could express. I was oftentimes in danger of death. And it's been like that. Even with Paul. That happened with Paul. He was traveling, and what? He was in what? Peril, shipwreck, journeyings amongst false brethren, in hunger, in thirst, all these things. So through that he was able to what? Gain experience. This is what this truth is about. Gaining experience. Through what? Through these trials. How are you going to call yourself having experience, but you're not going through the trials that are needed for that experience? And I understand more than I can express. I was often in times of danger of death, yet I was delivered because of these things. And certain brothers, they've been in them situations, near death situations in the truth. Okay? Which they were delivered out of. Why were they delivered out of these situations? Because they believed in Yahweh Shai. They put their trust in Yahweh Shai. That's why they were delivered. Verse 13, the spirit of those that fear the Lord Yahweh Shai shall live. Okay, so they're going to be protected in this time to come. For their hope is in him that saveth them. So who is our hope in? It's in Yahweh Shai. Okay. Not these idols. Okay. Not Buddha, not Shiva. Whoso feareth the Lord, Yahweh Shai shall not fear, nor be afraid. So again, when you fear if Yahweh Shai, you're not going to fear what man can do to you. You're not going to fear what Esau can do to you. Because you have the fear of the Lord, and that's going to guide you in that right way. Now Yahweh Shai can have that hedge around you. Now he can protect you. Why? Because you fear him. For he is his hope. Blessed is the soul of him that feareth the Lord. Bear me just a minute. That feareth the Lord Yahweh Yahweh Shai. To whom doth he look? So who do we look to? Huh? We look to him. Okay. We're not looking to Esau. We look to him. And who is his strength? And who is our strength? Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Verse 16, for the eyes of the Lord are upon them that love him. And you love Yahweh Shai, you're also going to fear him. Both of them go hand in hand. No, I'm not talking about the love of this world, because the love of this world is fake, phony. Alright? He is their mighty protection and strong stay. So Lord Yahweh Shai, he's our mighty protection and he's our strong stay. Okay? He's our hedge. Without that, you're through. A defense from heat, and that's spiritual. Why? Because it's hot today. Okay? In other words, what's it? Yahweh Shai is our pavilion. A cover from the sun at noon, and a preservation from stumbling, and a help from falling. He raiseth up the soul and lighteneth the eyes, and he giveth health and life and blessing. But that comes through obedience. Okay? See, when you're sinning, it doesn't give you health, life. When you sin, what does it bring forth? When you sin, what does it bring forth? Death. Okay? But through this words, now we've been given life through Yahweh Shai. Let's go to John 6. Heathens don't know a damn thing. John 6 and 63. It is the spirit that quickeneth. So you may ask, well, what makes us alive? What makes us quicken? Huh? It's the spirit that quickens us, that makes us alive. The flesh profiteth nothing. So this flesh that we're in, it's not going to profit you. Because the flesh, what does it allude to? Death. Mortal bodies. So if anybody tells you as well, we're going to be perfect, we're not going to be perfect in these bodies. The scriptures, Yahweh Shai wants us to present ourselves before him as a bride, and a clean bride. But guess what? There's only so clean you're going to be in this flesh. There's only so clean you're going to be in this flesh. Because the perfection comes in the kingdom. The perfection don't come here. So those that Yahweh Shai is looking for, they're going to be perfected. He's going to make sure they're perfected in this word. Okay? He's going to make sure they're that bride which is acceptable, without spot. Okay? He's going to do that. This is not by our own accords. You can't be in that, that hold it in thy spirit. It's Yahweh Shai that's going to do that. Okay? We're not doing that of our own accords. That self-righteous spirit, it's Yahweh Shai that makes you clean. It's him that makes your way perfect. The scriptures talk about those that were clothed in white. So those that were clothed in white, Yahweh Shai was what? Perfecting them. Okay, and that's symbolic of what? Purity. But who's going to make you? It's Yahweh Shai. It's not going to be of your own merit, of something you done. It is the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit, and they are life. So these words, there's a spirit that comes with this. Okay? And these words are life. Okay? These words promote life, not death. Especially if you're applying it. So we're done with that. And you get that as well. That's one thing about this truth. You know, people can sense energy. You may be very energy sensitive. And when you're in this word, people gravitate towards you, especially the other nations. They gravitate towards you. They gravitate towards your energy. Okay? A big ass field. Okay? And people want to sit next to you. Because the spirit, people know. Even these other nations know. We are the children of the Most High. We are the children of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And these other nations, they're going to be under us. These other nations, they're going to be our slaves. Let's go into that. Bear me just a minute. These other nations, we're going to teach them our ways. You know? So bear me just a minute. These other nations, we're going to teach them our ways, man. Because due to our transgressions, due to us not keeping the laws how we should be keeping it, these other nations, guess what? They've had reign over us. Alright? But guess what? That's going to change very, 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 very soon. Alright? The nations, they're going to be walking to our tune. Bear me just a minute. Let's go to especially Elam. Right? Because these other nations, you know what? Bear me. Because these other nations, they look down upon the so-called Negroes. All these nations, the Ishmaelites, the Elamites. That's why when you go to India, what do? You have their caste system. Okay, and they look down upon the darker nations. Okay. That's why what have you got? You got the cities, you got the untouchables, and you got the Dalits, which are descendants from what? West Africa. Okay, in that land. Alright? So let's go to Isaiah 2. The word that Isaiah, son of Amos, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord Yahushai's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. So the mountains represent what? The high peaks, the government, and all the nations are what? Going to flow unto it. Alright? All these nations. And shall be exalted above the hills. So it says, and shall be exalted above the hills. The hills of the other nations. Alright? See what else we got. And all nations shall flow unto it. So all these nations are going to flow unto us. So if all nations are flowing unto us, what's that? Tributary. So all these nations, they're going to be tributary to us. You're going to bring your goods to us, just like we had to do to you. Just like the Persian Empire, just like the Medo-Persian Empire. With Darius, we had to pay tribute to him. Okay, he made it so we could build a temple, but we were still paying tribute to him. Okay. And shall be exalted above all the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountains. Bear me just a minute. Let us go up to the mountain of the Lord Yahweh of Ashai. So these other nations, they're going to be more than happy to serve us. Right now, the other nations are looking at our people in a particular way. And we understand why, because the way our people are conducting themselves. So you can't really blame the other nations for looking at our people as niggers, because the way they conduct themselves and the way our people are portrayed on the media as well. But we're not that. We are a holy nation. We are a separate nation. Okay? Let us go to the mountain of the Lord Yahushua, to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways. So yeah, we're going to teach you other nations our ways. You ain't going to have the Moabites. You ain't going to have the Japanese eating dog fried rice. You ain't going to have the Japanese eating octopus. You ain't going to have the other nations worshipping idols. Because as soon as that happens, that's going to get put out. We going to put that straight out. Okay? That's not going to be tolerated in our kingdom. And we will walk in his path. So they're going to walk in the paths of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Alright? For out of Zion shall go forth the law. So the true law, the standard, how you should be living, is going to come out of where? Israel. And the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. Alright? And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares. So Yahweh Shai is going to judge among these nations. Okay? and beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. And this is going to be them cultivating our land, because that's what spears and pruning hooks are for. So they're going to be cultivating our land. All right. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. So there's going to be no war. And this cuts the whole thing about those individuals that are in our land are the Israelites. No, they're not, because then this scripture would already been fulfilled when it's not. There's war in that land. O ye house of Jacob, come, let us walk in the light of the Lord Yahweh Shai. So that's what these nations are going to be doing, walking in our ways. They're going to be learning of our ways. Okay? Whether you like it or not. Okay, let's go to Psalms. Go to Psalms, I think it's 147. This is Psalms 149 and 5. Let the saints be joyful in glory. So who were the saints? Who were the saints? The saints are you so-called Negroes, Hispanics and Indianos. So let the saints be joyful in glory. And we're going to be joyful in the kingdom. We're going to be real joyful. We're going to have fields. We're going to have slaves. We're going to have cattle. We're going to have gold. We're going to have gemstones. That's what we're going to have, all those things and even more. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high pray. Yeah, and guess what? We're still going to be resting. We're just going to have angelic bodies. Okay? We're still going to have flesh. Let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth. Okay? And a two-edged sword in their hands. So what's that two-edged sword for? Because it ain't for buttering no bread. Okay? To execute vengeance upon the heathen. So that sword is going to be what? To execute, to put in action vengeance upon the heathen. Why would that need to be done? Because if you break any of our laws or you don't submit to our laws, then guess what? We're going to execute that judgment according to the law. Okay? So the law's going to be in full effect in the kingdom. And it says, and to execute vengeance upon the heathen, and punishments upon the people, and to bind their kings with chains, and their nobles with fetters of iron. And the nobles are what? The higher ups of this society. Okay? And they're going to be in fetters of iron, including these heathens as well. They're going to be in fetters of iron. They're going to be bowed down to the real kings of the earth. Alright? And their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written. So this is going to be executed. This is going to be put into action. This one I have all the saints. Praise ye the Lord Yahweh Sham Yahweh Shai. So this is what we're looking for. This is what we're waiting for. And guess what? Yahweh Shai is going to grant us that. Because we're still under oppression. Bear me just a minute. Go to Baruch. A lot of these people ain't got no lives, man. Let's go to Baruch. This is Baruch 3. This Baruch 3, and you know what? Let's start Baruch 2 and 34. I will bring them again in the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they shall be lords of it, and I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. So we're going to inherit that land forever. Okay, we're not going to be cast out of that land. We're going to inherit that land forever and ever. All right. And I will make an everlasting covenant with them to be their power. And they shall be my people. And I will no more drive my people of Israel out of the land that I have given them. So that's going to be an everlasting covenant when Yahushua comes back, when we're renewed. And he's not going to drive us out of that land. We're not going to be in all these different lands, Australia, America, UK. Okay. We're going to be back in our homeland. So with this, I hope this was edifying. And until the next time, Shalom.